Before your eyes, before too long, there will arise in word and song some actors who, with skill and ease, will perform for you and surely please. And if you have the ears to hear, from our tale there may appear a lesson, maybe two or three, a parable for you and me. If the lessons heard, do be strong and make the trip. It won't take long until you surely stand upon the happy land beyond the sun.
Hannah and Paul ran up the grassy hill, and as they got to the top, a warm breeze carrying wonderful fresh scents from flowers washed over them. Hannah stopped and closed her eyes to drink in the fragrances. "Oh, I love that smell." "Me too. But look." Hannah opened her eyes. Paul was pointing across a large garden to some huge golden gates, set within a tall wall that stretched on both sides down to the edge of the canyon. Two very tall guards stood at the gate. "Not another checkpoint? Come on, we just walked across an invisible bridge. This will all be okay. Besides, maybe they're expecting us." The two of them walked between fragrant flower beds right up to the gate. One of the giant guards called to them. "Halt, friends." "Why? Can't we go in?" "You cannot enter peace with those burdens on your back." "What? But we've come all this way to get rid of them." "I'm sorry, it's by order of the king." "Order of the king? I don't understand." "Well, a king is like the boss or leader. He sits on a throne and..." Yes, I know what a king is, but I don't understand why Traveller sent us here if the king won't let us in." "Our orders are not to let anyone in who has a burden." Hannah and Paul took a few steps away from the guards at the gate. "Not another problem. I thought we'd made it." "Now what are we going to do?" "I don't know. There's nothing more we can do." "Friends, you look sad." "He has eyes like Traveller's eyes." Do you know someone called Traveller?" "Yes, I do. He's one of my most trusted friends." "To answer your question, yes, sir, we are sad. We came here to get rid of these burdens, but the guards won't let us in." "Yes, there will never be any burdens allowed in this city of peace, and your burdens are large." "Yes, they are, I'm ashamed to say." "Would you let me carry them for you?" "What?" "Thanks anyway, but they're not normal burdens. They're actually attached to us. Trust me, I've carried lots of bigger burdens than these before, and I've seen everything you two have done to make these burdens grow." "You've seen it all? How could you see what we've done from so far away?" "Oh, I'm around in Tempest too, and even though I know what you've done, I still care about you both very much." "Really? But you only just met us." "I've known you since before you were born, Hannah." "How do you know my name?" "Can you really take these burdens from us?" "Trust me, Paul. Just come and sit over here." Paul and Hannah sat on a bench to one side of the gate. "Now, close your eyes, both of you. Think about all the goodness you've been given on your journey. The love from Charity and Fairlight, grace and compassion helping you, the kindness of faith. You know, even your own parents showed you love many times before they started to lose their way. All that love, all the goodness you've ever felt came from me, and it's been my voice that you've heard calling you to come to this, my land. Now, trust me." "All right." All the goodness, all the lovely people, your voice. Hey, what's happening? I feel so light. Your burden's gone, Hannah. Has mine too? Feels like it has. Yes. Hey, where is he? Who was he? He's gone. Now you may enter. If you go along this street, Gold Street, you will eventually come to the City of Peace, and you'll be able to take part in the celebration that happens every week, because it's happening today. Every week? What is it? Well, a week is a 7-day period that... Yes, I know that. But what is the celebration for? Every week the king honours his son, Prince Greatheart, and everyone in the city celebrates living in the land beyond the sun by having a procession. A procession? Wow, that sounds good. What's a procession? Oh, you're going to love it. It's usually dancers and musicians, animals, special wagons with amazing displays all moving in a line down the street. People stand on each side and clap and dance and cheer and sing. Really? Wow, let's go, Hannah. Okay, thank you, guards. Pleasure. Welcome to the land beyond the sun. Hannah and Paul walked quickly along Gold Street as far as they could. The pavers in the street did look like real gold. He wondered if they were real gold. They passed by lakes and different kinds of gardens and groups of amazing bushes and trees, including some that had unusual colours that glowed purple and blue and yellow. They heard beautiful music coming from places behind the plants, and they smelled the most delicious smells they'd ever smelt. Here and there they caught glimpses of houses of different sizes and shapes, and at one point they saw a view through the trees to a little village on a hilltop. Another, they saw a distant beautiful valley with huge mountains capped by snow. All the time they were moving closer to the beautiful City of Peace. Eventually they joined some other people in bright-coloured clothes, all moving down the street, which got wider and wider, until finally they'd realised they'd entered the city itself. Everyone they saw looked them in the eyes and smiled and waved at them. Some of them looked the same ages as each of them, and soon Paul found himself asking other young boys about the city, and Hannah was chatting with girls her age. She had so many questions. Do you live here? What's your name? What sort of house do you live in? What is the prince like? Who is the king? Did you cross the bridge of faith too? How many people live in this city? And so on. And what a magnificent city it was. Impossibly tall, shining skyscrapers disappeared toward the clouds. Beautifully shaped buildings were covered in dazzling and intricate designs. Trees and gardens were everywhere, including up the sides and hanging over the roof edge of many of the buildings. Birds and birdsong filled the skies. Dogs and cats came and sniffed and played at the feet of the children. Someone placed inviting hot sandwiches into both their hands, and when they bit into them, their mouths exploded with delicious, rich, savoury flavours. Eventually, surrounded by magnificent and tall buildings, each more wonderful than the last, Paul and Hannah found a place to sit in stadium-style seating that lined both sides of the road. Listen, there's music coming. Suddenly, with a roar, all the crowd stood up and Paul had to stand on his chair to see. A long and beautiful carriage, larger than King Jacques and Queen Dulcinella's, and pulled by 4 white horses in beautiful, decorated finery, appeared, and everyone started to sing a song that Paul and Hannah felt they'd known since they were young. Hannah pointed at the person in the carriage. It's him! It's the man at the gate!
Look who it is. He is the one. He's helped us go in. He's the King's Son. He lifted our burdens and took them away. Now is the start of a whole new day, and we thank you, sir, for giving us this open.